Hi, everyone, and welcome to our in-person 2-hour breathwork workshop. My name is Lana Elko, and I'm certified holotropic breathwork facilitator and the creator of breath of remembrance modality of breathing. I am recording this video for our workshop in Carmel with Kaboom for Yogashala Studio. And we are going to do a combination of breathwork with live healing sound session that Kaboom is going to provide. Right? He's a very talented musician. And I will use this recording for my future 2-hour workshops. So if you watch it later, this is also all valid and pretty universal for these shorter workshops, 2-hour workshops. So you received the preparation letter, and I shared a few tips of how to prepare and also mentioned what to bring with you to the workshop. And this is very important because this modality of breathwork requires some preparation, and you need to bring certain things to feel comfortable and dive into the process and feel supported, right? So I made a list of things that you will need to bring with you. So please make sure you don't forget anything. Just a short reminder, like on the practical level, right? So bring a water bottle with you in a closed container. You might feel like you need to have some water during breathwork session. Your throat might get dry, so it's important to have your personal water bottle with you. Bring a mattress or mat. Yoga mat can work, but it might be a little bit hard. If you prefer something softer, because we are going to start on your back, laying down on your back, bring some softer mat like a camping mat or like a mattress that will help you to relax and feel comfortable. Bring a pillow and a blanket in case you will need a blanket, right, if you get cold. I recommend to bring a journal and a pen so you can write down about your experience after breathwork session in case you might feel you can forget, right? Sometimes you want to write down your insights right away. And also you can bring a sacred object, sacred personal object that is meaningful for you personally, because we'll create space for the altar, right? We want to create certain ritual, create intention, creating sacred space together. So if you'd like to participate in creating this altar, please bring your own personal sacred object. Also, I recommend to bring an eye mask, something to put on your eyes, so you can dive in within, right? Because we are going to do breath work and we'll stay with our eyes closed during 1 hour. It will be 1 hour journey of breath work itself. So most people feel it's really helpful to have an eye mask so you can block all the light from outside and really dive into your internal universe. All right, so these are things that you can bring. Well, by the way, you can also bring some snacks. Some people get really hungry after breathwork, but of course it's not a long one. So you can also go out and have some food, go home, have some food after. So it's just optional if you think you need. I also recommend to arrive like 5-10 minutes earlier so you can settle in the space, find your spot where you want to be in the room, and it just helps to prepare, right? So we can start in time, or at least show up in time. Don't be late. All right, so I'll share a little bit about holotropic breathwork and breath of remembrance so you understand what this modality of breathwork is about. Holotropic breathwork is pretty famous and popular modality of breathing It was founded by Stanislav and Christina Grof in 1975. So it's a very old modality, right? Now, these days we have always kind of explosion of interest in breathwork. So there are so many new modalities show up, and it is a great thing. However, holotropic breathwork has very deep roots, and it's been created a while ago, and there is the whole international community of breath workers who practice this modality. So what is it all about? It's part of transpersonal psychology, this modality that belongs to transpersonal psychology. And Stanislav Grof, also one of the founders of transpersonal psychology. They call it also psychology of the future. So how do we use it, and how it is helpful to practice holotropic breathwork? Holotropic breathwork is transformational modality of breathing that helps us to access expanded states of consciousness and work with our intuitive and subconscious material, right? To access some deep emotional wounding, to do deeper healing, to work with the body, to release and process emotions, and receive insight or guidance, spiritual guidance internally. Now, what we are practicing today is breath of remembrance modality. I created this modality to give everyone opportunity to really explore this powerful psychospiritual practice within kind of a shorter container, right? So this is just 2 hours. Usually holotropic breathwork intensive is like 1 day long, and we usually have 2 sessions of breathwork, 3 hour long, right? Each session 3 hour long. So I decided to create a shorter version to give people opportunity to try it out, and people who can't commit to 1 day intensive, they can also try it. And also during the pandemic, I offered this modality online and still do offer it for people who can show up live, who can show up in person. And during pandemic, of course, it was very, very helpful for everyone because many people were stressed, and many people were practicing online. So we use breathing, this powerful breathing technique, in a way as a tool, right? As a tool to access expanded states of consciousness, to kind of zoom out of our habitual perception of reality, ourselves, our life, and see ourselves as a spiritual beings, right? And access some subconscious material that we can directly access, but whatever is going on the subconscious level is consistently affect our well-being, right, in our daily life. So we do want to access those deeper layers, bring them to the level of awareness, work with them, release that emotional charge, process all the emotions, process all the energetic blockages, release energetic blockages from our body, and do some deep healing on ourselves, right? And it's a consistent practice. So many people come back, once they feel they need to do more of this work and access some more layers of deeper material within themselves, right? It also helps us to release, the emotional buildup, right? So many modern people live a really stressful life, and we build up lots of emotional material in our body that, because of psychosomatic effects, can also affect our physical health as well. So it's very powerful technique that helps us to consistently clear our system. It's like a reset button, and it also can help us to access internal guidance, right, or spiritual guidance. You might see things that you don't see in your daily life, You might receive certain messages, certain answers to important questions from your higher self, the universe, the spirit guides, whatever you call it, right? So it is also very insightful practice. So we use this analogy. It's like the rocket is going to space, right? At the beginning, we need lots of fuel to break through the gravity of this planet and the atmosphere of this planet to go to space. So that's why we use a lot of fuel at the beginning, right? Once the rocket is in space, we don't really need much fuel at all, right? It just flies through space. The same is here. We use this powerful and intense modality of breathing at the beginning of our session with intention to break through our limiting perception of reality, or our habitual perception, right? How we perceive everything every day, right? It's like our radio is tuned in on one wavelength, right? So by using this technique, we break free from that gravitational pull of our daily life, habitual life, our environment, our perception, and we access expanded states of consciousness or altered states of consciousness, something that many people now try plant medicine, and they can use different substances to access altered states of consciousness. So in this case, we just use our breath, and we can have similar mystical experiences, similar deep healing experiences with just using this breathwork technique, right? Once we are in space, once we access expanded states of consciousness, we don't really need consistently breathing this way. Our breathing pattern can shift, and we can kind of either just flow with the process or come back to breath when we feel we start to feel more like normal, right? So, and we're going to have only 1 hour of breath work. Maybe it sounds like a lot, but when you're in expanded states, the perception of time also shifts, right? It's kind of, we access this quantum field in a way, and perception of time shifts. And most of the time you feel it hasn't been like 1 hour, or even when we do 3 hours, like people feels like, wow, it's been 3 hours already. So you will not feel like it was a long time. We use very specific music set to facilitate breathwork process. It's specifically designed for this work. There is a science behind it in the way it follows all our chakra system, right, from the more like root chakra and all the 3 survival chakras, right, in our body, to clear the energy, to build up the fuel, the power, and then we can break free and start receiving experience. Stanislav Grof was saying, breathe until you get surprised. So you start breathing this way. I guide you into the breath at the beginning of the workshop. And at some point, you will start experiencing something. You will be with your eyes closed. Most people use the eye mask. So something starts happening within. And you will know, right? Oh, something's happening now. You might feel this energy flow in your body, right, circulating through your body. You might feel these tingling sensations in your fingers and your body, like activated. You might feel activated. Your senses might get activated. It can be somatic process. Many people start moving because the music set invites you to move your body. And many times people start to have emotional response, start to feel something. You can be brought back to different times in your life, to your childhood, or it can be even like perinatal level or like past lives, or I will also mention what kind of experiences you can have during this journey. But something starts to happen within, and you know, okay, my process has begun. Now, once you are in the process, you can continue using this technique and breathing this way during the whole session. Some people do that and have experience at the same time. Some people feel like they don't need to control their breath anymore. They are already in the process and they just roll with it. And sometimes they come back to the breath. Sometimes they just feel their breathwork pattern is shifting, breathing pattern is shifting. So it is very personal. It's very important to remember that you cannot do it wrong, right? You cannot do it wrong. As soon as you're breathing this way, everything is right. Right? So it's very important because some people like questions like, can I do it wrong? Am I doing it right? You know, you cannot do it wrong as soon as you follow the breathwork technique, which is really simple. Now, if you feel during the session that your breath altered, right? If you shifted your breathing pattern and you start to feel you're kind of coming back to the surface of feeling more like normal, start to think about normal things, reconnect with the breath, start to use breathwork technique again, and you'll be taken for another ride, right? You will have another wave of experience in the same session, right? It's just 1 hour. So the music set will guide you to move through all your chakra system, basically. At the beginning, music going to be very rhythmical, very tribal, like drumming, didgeridoos. So it will invite to move your body, right? It will invite you to shake your body, move your body. Many people do this kind of dancing moves. So whatever feels good, right? You can start moving your body. Usually I guide you into the breath. I give you a short body scan relaxation. We're on our backs, relaxing our backs, put an eye mask, and I guide you into relaxation. And then I start breathing with you and I guide you into breath, right? And when music starts, you will be on your own. So I will not guide you verbally during breathwork session itself. I'll prepare you, I'll breathe with you, I'll guide you. And then when music starts, music will be your guide. And until music ends, you will be on this journey on your own, right? Of course, I will be there. And if you need something, I'll be happy to support you, help you, guide you. But you need to raise your hand and then I can come and help you. When music ends, after 1 hour, this is an invitation to slowly come back. Of course, I give you a little bit more time to come back because you will be in expanded states, but this is generally an invitation. Okay, this session is over. I usually check in with everyone after breathwork session to make sure they're complete, to make sure, you know, they're back from their inner journey experience. So but it's important for you to understand the process and know how to navigate it. So at the beginning, when music starts, you can start moving your body, right? Just the way your body wants to move. There is no right and wrong here. And it's more allowing your body to move rather than making your body move, right? So it's not, doesn't come from your conscious mind. It's like, okay, I'm going to move this way. It's like, just allow the body to find the rhythm and self-expression. There is lots of healing potential in the body, right? The Stan Grof called it inner healer intelligence or inner healer. It's part of our body psyche that knows how to heal our body and our psyche, right? So this is something that we all have. And all we need to do is just to step away, to let go of the control and ways to surrender to the experience. So we want to be in surrendered states, in receiving states. We are receiving the experience that comes through us, right? So allowing your body to move. the way your body wants to move. Some people don't move much, and that's totally fine. They can have internal process, but just having that permission is very powerful. So as soon as music starts, you can shift position of your body, you can sit up, you can go all fourth, you can go on your knees. Some people feel like they even need to stand up, and that's totally fine. Just remember that you are with your eyes closed and try to stay on your mat or your mattress. So don't run around with your eyes closed or dance around, right? Because we want to keep you safe in your physical space. Be aware of your environment around you. Otherwise, you can move as much as you need, right? The second wave in the music set is all about like releasing all the emotions that are stuck in our body, right? So the music becomes more emotional rather than like rhythmical and tribal. So in this space, you can really allow yourself to feel all your emotions the way they come to you, and try not to control what you want to feel or what you don't want to feel. We're just facing and allowing the material to come to us, and we work with whatever is there, right? Some people have blissful experiences, some people have challenging experiences, but whatever comes, we see it as something that we need to face today and we need to work with, right? We just have that kind of mindset. In a way, we recommend to practice beginner's mind, like in the Buddhist tradition. We know about beginner's mind, and it's really helpful to really let go of all the expectations, what you want to resolve or what you want to fix through this experience, right? You can have an intention, of course, but when the experience comes to you, you embrace it and you're grateful for it just the way it comes, because that's exactly what you need to face, right? So in both situations, like when you feel your emotions, when you move your body, there is only one guideline here. What you can actually consciously enhance is intensifying. So you want to intensify your body movement and you want to intensify your emotions. So you feel it, give it 100%, feel it 100%, express it 100%. Also, many people feel they need to make sound during the breathwork session, like vocalize the experience, not verbally, but with their voice. So they can, make different sounds. You can cry, you can laugh, you can sing, you can make animal noises, you can roar, you can scream. So it's safe, right? It's a safe space to express yourself and release anything out of your body that your body wants to release, including the sound. There is a lot of healing potential in our throat chakra, right? So when we make sounds, we release all these blockages and all the stagnant energy that we will have in the center because of our conditioning, how we use language, how we use our voice. And many people find it extremely liberating and powerful. So just give yourself permission to use your voice during the session if that's something that you need, if that comes up in your session. And the third wave of the music will be more relaxing, meditative. It's more like you travel through your chakra system and you're going to your higher chakras, more like not material, more energetic, and more like mystical experiences, more like a vision. You can receive lots of visionary material, right? Receive vision. So it's more quiet. And at this point, many people just stay internal. You don't need to sustain breathwork technique at this point anymore. You might feel like you're floating or flying or being in that expanded space and kind of high realm. However, some people continue breathing until the end of the session. That helps them to stay connected to their body, to their process, and that's their personal style, right? In the way you discover what works for you when you practice this modality of breath work, right? So you kind of find your breath, or your breath finds you, and you develop relationship. Your body develops relationship with this practice. So at the beginning, there can be a little bit experimentation from your side when you are, if it's your first time and you're exploring your breath, right? And when the music stops, this is we slowly come back. I'll ring a little bell after a few minutes of silence to invite you back gently and check in with you after your journey. Now, during breathwork, I can offer body work. The body work that we use in this modality is specifically designed to release tension in your body, to release any kind of blockages, stuck energies, right? When you feel tension or pain or feeling stuck, right? It can be connected with emotion of being stuck, frustrated, right? And you can release it on your own through moving your body, maybe self-touch. You can massage that part of the body, sending the breath through that part of the body. So first, try to walk through this tension or pain on your own. And if you can succeed, if you can't release this tension and move forward, then you can raise your hand, right? Like this. And keep it up, right? So I see that is not your movement of your body. So I will come to you and I will ask you, okay, what do you need? What part of the body? What are you feeling? And we'll work on it together. So I'll explain it to you right there, because there are different techniques we can use in body work. So don't be shy to ask if you need body work as well. Some people need to go to the bathroom during the breathwork session. Of course, I recommend to go before, because it's just 1 hour. But if you need to, also raise your hand. And I'll usually come and make like hand contact with you, and I help you stand up and guide you to the bathroom. Then you come back. And when you come back, make sure you reconnect with the breathing technique, so you go back in the expanded states, right, in the process. When you go to the bathroom during the breathwork session, it can pull you out of your process a little bit. So it's very important that you reconnect with the breathing technique right after. All right, so there can be one side effect here, and it's called tetany. You might feel tingling sensation in your fingertips, your hands might get numb, right? Sometimes even feet for some people. And in extreme extreme version of tetany is when your hands become like this, kind of stuck, right? You can't relax them, you can move them well. It's like so don't be afraid, that is totally normal. Some people have it stronger than others. You can shake your hands like this, you can rub them together, to move your blood. And if you also can't release that and you feel like your hands are like this, you can also raise your hand, and then I will come and I will massage your hands and help you to release that. Some people actually prefer to have it, like the more experienced breathers, because they feel they need to work through that themselves. So it symbolizes something in their process that they're working on. So they prefer not to release this completely and not to ask for that kind of massage that I offer. But if you need that, also let me know, because I don't want to invade in your space without you asking, right? We don't know what is going on. You are on your own in a journey, and by invading in your space, I might interrupt your process, right? So we only come and help people when they raise their hands. Then I see, okay, they need my help, okay? All right, so we also have agreement of, besides that, you stay on your mat during the process, right? So you don't roll around or jump around with your eyes closed. It's kind of your safety. That's one agreement. The second one is agreement of confidentiality. So this is in-person workshop, and when we have a brief sharing circle at the end, just make sure that you commit to stay confidential about other people's experience, right? So not to share anything about other people's experiences in a way it can recognize, they can be recognized. What else? Just trying to make sure I cover everything and you have all the information available. Now, yes, this one is important. So some people feel like they can't drop into expanded states quickly enough, or they feel kind of normal and nothing's happening, right? It's like you're breathing, and you just feel normal and nothing's happening. You're not surprised, right? So that happens sometimes with people who are a lot in their head and they have kind of stubborn mind. So we have suggestion for this situation. So just try to focus on breath. Try not to have any kind of high expectations. Even if you still feel normal, just make sure you give it 100%. Maybe intensify your breath even more, right? In a moment, I will just talk about breathwork technique itself. I will demonstrate it to you so you will know what I'm talking about. So try to intensify your breath even more, right? To make sure that your body is occupied. There's a lot is going on, so it's not sitting still, quiet meditation. So it is easier for your mind to let go of control and not to concentrate all the energy in your head, right? So when you focus on the breath, when you allow your body to move, right, make sure that you start moving your body. You might allow your sound to come through. So that really helps you to get out of your head into your body, right? Even if you don't have any visions or you don't have any kind of inner journey, you don't go anywhere in your inner world, but it can be very healing somatic process. Some people just have very somatic and active process, moving their body, breathing, feeling the energy, and then moving through the body, right? And working through different layers this way. So not everyone has like vision. Not everyone is going literally on the journey, and then they can tell a story about that, right? Some people have very somatic processes, and that's great. Just try to bring that focus and just try to ignore your mind. Let it be there on the background, right? The monkey mind. Let it chat. Just don't focus on your thoughts. Focus on your body and your breath. So that's what we recommend. And try not to expect anything. Just accept the process the way it is in the moment, in the present moment. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I was in the process, but some other people make noise, and that can be distracting. It can be like something external that can feel like, oh, I'm being pulled out of my process because that person is making this noises, right? So that happens quite a bit. And for this situation, we do recommend to accept all the sounds in your environment, everything that is going on and you feel and hear, as part of your experience. Imagine that's exactly how it's designed to be, right? That's exactly how you're designed to hear and feel it, right? And in this case, you can work with certain triggers, right? Many people experience certain triggers coming up for them during the process because of this external experiences, right? Something's going on in the space. Or sometimes it is internal, like frustration with yourself, or I never have deep experience. People have all this amazing experience and I can't get in. Try to work with these triggers this way. This is what we call holotropic way. We say like take it internal, take it vertical. So instead of like focusing on external trigger, on external situation that makes you feel triggered, pull it back to yourself and ask yourself this question: have I felt it before? Right? And many times feeling, oh yeah, it's a very familiar feeling. I feel it many, many times in my life. It's like a story of my life, right? So then you can ask the second question and ask yourself, when was the first time when I felt this? And it helps you to go really deep in your process. Go back to your childhood, go back when this trigger was created. Maybe there can be some trauma connected to this, maybe something that needs to be healed or worked through, right? Most of the time, that's the case. So just work with that material this way. Just take that responsibility, pull your focus back on your internal experience and work with these two questions. Many people give us feedback that was kind of like transformational experience to work with those questions when they feel triggered during the process, right? You are expanded, you are much more open energetically, so you can really work through certain things that you can't work through in your normal life because you're too much just in the thinking mind, right? And kind of matter to matter experience. So this is what you need to know for this journey, right? Of course, I'll give you a few reminders before we start and when we meet in person, but this video is very important, right? The last thing I want to share is how to breathe. And of course, I will demonstrate it right there, but just for you to know, I remind you that you cannot do it wrong. And this is kind of flexible technique. So we breathe faster and deeper than we normally breathe. Something like this. So some people are very intense, loud breathers, and they can breathe like, right? And some people are somewhere in the middle. And some people are light breathers, and it can be something like this. So if it's your first time, you will experiment a little bit with your breath at the beginning, and you find your rhythm and your frequency and depth of your breath, right? So that can vary from person to person. And especially when music starts, you'll find a way to like synchronize your breath with the music, find your rhythm, and find your depth of the breath, right? So don't worry, you cannot do it wrong. And if you feel a little bit heady, if you feel you're thinking too much, try to intensify your breath even more. So maybe a bit heavier here. All right. So after breathwork session, I will check in with you just to make sure that you're ready for integration, you're done processing, that you don't have any pain or like any body sensations that are not released. So usually I talk to everyone briefly, and then we'll do a brief group integration circle. So you will be able to share your experience with the group. That can be very healing, it can be powerful, it can be very helpful for you to hear about other people's experiences. We're not going to in-depth integration process because we only have 2 hours, and also Kabun will share his healing sound at the end of this breathwork session thus. So we'll have even deeper, even more beautiful experience together. All right, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out. In my preparation letter, I'm sharing my phone number, my email, so you're welcome to reach out and ask the questions. And this video will be used for future workshops, 2-hour workshops. So not all of them, of course, will have sound healing session combined, but the information that I shared is the same. It's very similar process. All right. Thank you so much for taking this time and watching this video.